Enduro bikes have developed at an incredible rate, no doubt due to the demands of the pro racers, but have they got so good that they're faster downhill than a downhill bike? And are these things obsolete? The Enduro bike has been developed to be able to pedal uphill, yes of course, but bomb downhill as fast as possible. And there's been loads of developments the last few years, like mixed wheel sizes, adjustability on the fly, longer, slacker, lower. We've heard that mantra from many bike manufacturers. They've got to points where some of the angles are the same as downhill bikes, but even they might be bigger. Some of the sizes have got so extreme that downhill bikes maybe haven't kept up. At the elite level, downhill racers are the ultimate bike tweakers, like tyre pressures, spring rates, curves, air shocks, coil shocks. But actually, have the bike designs changed that much in the last few years? Maybe not. Yes, we've seen developments in wheel sizes again, people sticking a 29 on the front and a small wheel at the back. But ultimately, have enduro bikes caught up or even overtaken downhill bikes for pure speed downhill? Each of them have their pluses and minuses, and I love both of them. But in all honesty, I probably don't ride the downhill bike as much as I should. So does that tell you everything you need to know? Well, let's see which is faster down a hill. But first, let's take a quick look at each bike. This is my Nukeproof Giga 27.5 factory. It retails at £5,499. It's got 180mm travel front and rear, 27.5 wheel, said that already. Fox 38 fork up front, head angle of 63.5 degrees, and the reach on my medium frame is 455mm. A wheelbase of 1241mm, BB height of 350, and it weighs 15 kilograms. This is my Nukeproof Dissent RS. This comes in at £5,299. This is aluminium. It's got 200mm travel front and rear. That's the biggest difference, I guess. You've got triple clamp RockShox boxer up front. The reach on my large frame is 465, so slightly bigger than the Giga. But actually, interesting enough, on the medium frame, it's 445, so shorter than the medium Giga. Wheelbase is 1261mm in the middle setting, or 1266 as it is now in the long. BB height is 357.5 and it weighs 16.45 kilograms. It's longer, it's slightly slacker, it's heavier, it's got a coil shock on the back, big triple clamp fork up front, 20mm extra travel. Is that enough to still make it faster down the hill? Enough chit chat, it's time to put it against the clock, I think. Downhill bike first. You soon forget how good downhill bikes are, especially on really rough tracks and when you're getting tired. The big travel really helps you out on those bumps, just to smooth everything out. Big brakes, of course, they stop you really well. I even think that extra bit of weight, especially when you're tired, you've got a bit more momentum, things aren't going to ping you off quite as easily, so the bike just monster trucks on. Right, run 2 on the Giga before this rain comes in. Whew, well, that was tough. 2 runs as fast as I can down quite a physical track. Although I was very tempted, I never used my dropper post, so stood up sprinting, both bikes, both times. Let's start with the race time. So on the Neat Proof Dissent downhill bike, I did a 4 minutes 52. On the Giga, I did a 4:50. So pretty close actually, but 2 seconds quicker. On the Enduro bike, and I think, to be honest, like in the fast stuff at the top, it didn't feel as comfortable. It felt probably as fast, but a bit scary. Downhill bike just feels so solid, really good through that stuff. Where the Enduro bike felt really good was in the woods, where you're trying to whip the bike around. It just feels you can change direction really fast. And actually as well, it felt more fun, I would say, really moving the bike around. I'm definitely not in sort of my peak physical form at the moment. So I felt like the Enduro bike was kind of more forgiving, easier to ride, and it was faster. And for me, probably more fun. Although there's something to be said about hitting big jumps on a downhill bike. It just feels rad. It feels moto, and I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just the weight and the triple clamp fork, but getting it a bit sideways in the air, it just feels really good on a downhill bike. Not that it doesn't feel good on this. So yeah, for me, a downhill bike may just be obsolete, to be honest, because I can pedal up the hill on this. This is just a much more capable all-round bike than a downhill bike. So if you're average Joe, me, probably an Enduro bike is the thing to have. I'm not saying that if you picked a World Cup downhill racer, chucked them on that on their downhill bike and then put them on their Enduro bike, they'd be faster. I don't think they would. I think they'd be slower. But for me, it's quicker, it's more fun. Don't get me wrong, still love the downhill bike. And if we did this in Fort William, I would be much more grateful for having it and faster, I'm sure. But for most other downhill tracks, the Enduro bike is the one. Let us know in the comments down below if you've got a downhill bike or if you really always fancied one and now maybe you're thinking twice. And how much do you ride it if you do have one? Because like me, I don't ride it as much as it deserves, but then I think I've just proved that maybe I don't need to ride it that much anyway.